Hello, my functional family. This is Dr. Mitch Ziegler, and we are going to be going over a very powerful tool today. I would like you to use this tool. It's going to really help us to develop baseline information in regards to your nutrition. So, let me talk a little bit about this. This is an app called Cronometer, and it's spelled Cronometer. And all you have to do is go up and type in your URL, cronometer.com, and it'll bring you up to this page here. So Cronometer is a tool that can help you. We can analyze, again, your intake of nutrients. So the nutrients we're going to be looking closely at is your macronutrients and your micronutrients. So your macronutrients are going to be your proteins, are going to be your carbohydrates, are going to be your fats. Your micronutrients are going to be your vitamins and are going to be your minerals. So those are the difference between macronutrients, which are your proteins, fats, and your carbohydrates, and the micronutrients are going to be your vitamins, minerals. So those are the differences, and Cronometer can track all of this and give you a baseline of if you're getting enough of your vitamins and minerals, or if you're getting the correct ratios of your macronutrients. And then based on all this information we're going to gather, then we can start to set up a dietary plan for you, whether it be small adjustments in your diet, or if we need to supplement certain minerals or vitamins to help balance you out so your body can have all the nutrients it needs to be healthy. So the first thing you need to do is to go into sign up. So sign up is going to look like this page. What you're going to do is just put your first name and make sure you have a good email address, and then create a password. And then it's very important you go in and then you fill out the profile details. The profile details are very important because it sets up the basic resting metabolic rate. That means how much calories you burn while you're just sitting, while you're just at rest. Okay, so you just have to enter your birth date, your height, and your weight, and there's enough information with those metrics that it'll be able to set up how much calories you're burning while at rest. Okay. So I've already have an account, so I'm just going to go ahead and log into my account. But first, you'll need to do this. You'll then it'll send an email to your email address that you signed up. You just have to do a confirmation on that, and then you'll be able to log in. Okay. So log in is you just hit the login button, and then I already have my already set up to log in. And this is what it looks like for the first part of Cronometer. It'll sign you up in something called Dashboard. And from Dashboard, this very top part here is actually where you can enter information using the computer. So if you need to enter food in, like let's say you're going to use the computer to put all of your food in for the day, you just simply hit food, and then you just type in what you had that day. So for instance, maybe at breakfast I had an apple. So I just put apple in, and then it's going to give you all kinds of options for your apple. Let's just say I had an apple fresh with skin on it. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. And then I'm going to come down here and I can put different things in here. So first of all, it's going to tell me on the left-hand corner here what the nutrient value, how much protein, how many carbohydrates, and how many fats. And this is telling me all the macronutrients right here. It's also going to tell me, it's going to ask me, the time of day if I wanted to do that, the serving size. So the serving size kind of matters because you have different options here. Look at all these different options about how big the apple could be, whether it be chopped up or whatever. So you just try to match it as best you can. So I had a large apple, and this is all the information that I needed to add. So I just hit add to my diet. So now what it's going to do, it's going to go ahead and it's going to add the information, and it's going to show me what I've had to eat. So I've had an apple. It's one large 3¼ diameter, and this is how many calories it had. So this is the calories. This is it's also determined. These circles here give us information about how much we've consumed, how many calories we've consumed from the food. This is how much total we have for the whole day that it's calculated by putting in all that information to develop resting metabolic rate that we put in our height, weight. This is what it's saying that we're going to burn today without exercise or anything. And then the remaining is this is how much I can eat for the rest of the day and still stay in my calorie zone. Okay. Also, that apple also shows me how much energy it provided, how much protein, how much carbs, and how much fat it had. So it provides a lot of information. And as I start adding more stuff to my food, my list will get bigger and bigger, and these numbers will all change, and you'll start to get a really good idea of the different macronutrients and micronutrients. But this is where it gets really cool because it's going to tell all the kind of micronutrients I have down through here. So it tells me how much fiber I had, how much iron, calcium. This is just for one apple. It tells me all this information about this apple. So, and if we get down here, we can see the different categories: general, how much energy it provided. Was there alcohol in it? Was there caffeine in it? Was there water? The carbohydrates, how much fiber, starch, sugars, fats, all the different kinds of fats, which omega-3s are really important fat we want to have in our diet. Anyway, we'll get to that later. And so that also breaks down protein. Did the apple give me any protein? And these are all the amino acids that make up protein. It also goes through all the minerals, and it'll go through all the vitamins. So throughout the day, as I add more food to this, so let's say I go and add another thing of food. Let's say I have a banana. I put the banana in there, and I say it was about this long, 7 to 7 and 7/8, and I just add it again. So now I have two things in my on my list. And so it's it's gonna change my numbers. This is how many calories. This is the expenditures. How much is remaining, and it's gonna also change the highlighted nutrients here. Is gonna change all the different numbers that come down through here, through the minerals and through the vitamins. It's just gonna keep you updated about all of this information and what you're providing your body. Okay, so that's just food and how to add food, and you should add all the food that you eat throughout the day. And then if you do some exercise, this is a great place where you can add exercise. So let's say I just did some general light walking. I did it for 15 minutes. And actually, I'm going to change it. I'm going to put moderate. And I'm going to put the duration still 15. And so then I want to add it to my diary. And I'll put that in there. It's going to change the expenditure of calories I get for the day because it's going to add and say, I've just eliminated 83 calories. I used 83 calories by doing my walking. So that's going to be added to this number down here. And that's what that little orange is right there. Okay. So you can add exercise throughout the day. And then you can also put a note too. Just, hey, what happened today? Was I not feeling good? And just any notes you want just to keep track of that day, or maybe something happened that day you want to keep track of. So this is how you can use just the very first dashboard piece and using the diary and adding foods. Okay, so I need you to start doing this. And also you can add your water over here too. And then there's the next tab we're going to go down to is trends. So if we hit the first one, it's just charts. It's going to show us, energy consumed for the day. And it's just going to show us in a graph form all of our fats, carbohydrates, protein, that type of thing. So, but more importantly, the nutritional report is kind of where I want us to stay focused on, because we're going to track for 7 days your nutrients and where your baseline nutrients are, the macro and micronutrients. So this is what it's going to look like over a 7-day period. So it looks just like the dietary dashboard, but this is going to compute everything for a whole month or for a whole week that you record it. Or it could, if you only do it for 3 days, it'll just do it for 3 days too. But it's going to give us a bigger picture of your trends. Okay, so this is just something, you don't have to do anything here. Everything is going to come from the dietary recordings you're going to put in. But this is the nutritional report that I'll be checking with you. And so I just wanted to let you know it's right there, and I'll show you how to navigate. You can also print the report. And so just over the last 7 days, you can go ahead and print it to your printer, something you can do. There's some more options here you can just explore. If you have custom meals you make, or repeated items, those type of things, those can be added in, so you don't, just to make it more convenient and easier for you. So this is Cronometer. This is what it looks like when you use Cronometer with the computer. And when you use it with the computer, and let's say you want to use it with your phone app, you can do them both together. Whatever you add onto the phone app will cross over, and it will log into your computer, so they work together. there's probably one more thing I should talk to you about too, and that is in the more category. So there's targets and profiles, and we can build this in, and I'll work with you on this. But we want our protein level to be pretty much right around like 20%, 15 to 20%. Okay, so that's going to be something we're going to go in and change. And so I do want you to adjust it down. And probably, I think I want you probably, again, between 15 and 20. And so that's going to have to match up with the rest of this. And we want our fats right around that 15% mark too. So try to change these numbers to match this, to have your protein between 15 and 20, and then have your fats at 15. And this will calculate everything else. So this is one of the ratios we can set. You've already entered your weight, and you can put a goal weight in here too. So if you're trying to lose weight, what Cronometer will do is it'll do a calorie deficit. So it'll take your number, it'll take this number that you have here for expenditure, it'll put a deficit, so it'll decrease it. So then when you're working on trying to lose weight, what'll happen is it'll build it in for you. It'll change that number. So if I go and hit goal weight and I change it, it'll change that energy expenditure for the day. Okay. Let's see what else is important here. So a lot of this I'm not going to have you do too much with. So the rest of it I want you to keep pretty much the same. But there is one other thing here. I do want to show you that you can use different devices, and you can sync a device. Here it is right here. So if you're using any of these devices, like I use Apple Health, and Apple Health is just using your Apple Watch. You can sync your watch to Cronometer, so then any of your steps that you do throughout the day, anything you do like that, will automatically sync over to Cronometer, and it'll add to that. It'll add more calories to the expenditure category right here. So if you go down to, again, sync a device, pick a device that you have, and then it's going to teach you how to go and sync the device. Highly recommend you do this. It'll make it really easy to keep track of just steps and calories burnt, and even exercise. So if on your Apple Watch, if you put in that you did this particular exercise and entered it on the watch, it'll carry over to Cronometer. Okay, so I think that's about all I wanted to cover with Cronometer. That was kind of a lot, but it's a good overview. This is a great tool. It's free. It's going to give us a ton of information. So please use this, and probably at least 1 week. If we can do it for 2 weeks, that would be great. And then we only need to do it for like a 2 week span, and then just recheck you maybe every second month to see how things are working out. Okay. So here's Cronometer. I want you to use it and try it out. And if you have questions, you can contact me so we can work out any of the bugs. All right, I'll talk to you soon.